Thanks to Top Publishing and NetGalley, I received a copy of Masquerade by Sangoyomi. I was particularly drawn to this historical work of historical fiction after reading Tomi Adeyemi's The Children of Anguish and Anarchy, a good closing to the Orisha fantasy trilogy. And they both have something in common, which is that they draw from a rich tapestry of African and particularly Yoruba culture and mythology. In Tomi Adeyemi's case, however, it's lies really more of cosmology. Sangoyomi's Masquerade is a story of Ododo, a young lady who is kidnapped in her hometown Timbuktu, just to find that her fortune is changed from being more like a low life or pariah gold blacksmith in Timbuktu to a high society lady in 15th century Oyo Empire, due to be married to the Alafin, the warrior king of the Oyo Empire. Along the way, she loses touch with her mother and sets off on a almost lifelong journey of finding her mother, while also trying to gain freedom from the binds or the binds of the society, the customs that new customs that she finds herself in. There is a bit of romance in there as well, so just in case that's your thing, you might find a little bit of that to soothe your interest in the book. Now, in Sangoyomi's Masquerade, you will not want for strong characters, particularly the female characters are the strongest, and that is not any surprise, seeing as patriarchy, or more particularly feminism, is a strong theme in this book. Now, Ododo, in the course of journey, has to tackle different throes, political intrigue, and we find her coming into her own after a string of personal betrayals, trainings, lessons. Along the way, she begins to pick up on little bits of the new lifestyle that she's been forced into as a soon-to-be wife of the Oyo, the Alafin, the warrior king Aremo. In the course of the book, we find that Ododo is besides being a skilled blacksmith, she is a quick study, and she learns to fight. She learns the ways of the art of war under Aremo's tutelage. She also learns through friendship with other women in the society, those in different classes. She also has to deal with many personal dramas, one of which stands out as being her relationship with her mother-in-law, the queen mother, new friends or seeming friends. Of course, she is in the middle of a rising empire, so there is a lot of political intrigue to keep her on her toes, and also on the lookout for clear and present dangers. Sangoyomi writes beautifully, in a prosaic style. She delivers her characters, some of which I'll touch on. One of the main being Ododo, who is a strong female character, and also multi-layered as one too. She begins to shed her naivety through the personal betrayals that I spoke of, but also through the trainings in scholarship. And I believe that the elements of scholarship are being touched on or represented in this book may be more like fading or lingering influences from the Mali Empire, which emphasized on scholarship as a great benefit of or a great asset for the expansion of the empire under Musa. But in this story, in Sangoyomi's Oyo Empire, scholarship is seen as a strong trait or element of the culture, especially as a good strength or a good skill to have as a would-be queen of in Indi or in Oyo. Ododo also learns how to fight under Aremo's tutelage, but they do it secretly, as it's not common for a woman to be taught how to fight. Also, she learns diplomacy, but it's not really clear in the book whether or not it's a skill that she always had or she had to learn, as there are uprisings that she applies some grit in helping Aremo to navigate, and helps him. She turns out to help him make some good choices, and this makes her really admirable. However, I did not like her personally. She wasn't all that interesting to me. I did admire her genuine passions. She felt deeply, especially when you find the ways that Sangoyomi writes about the romance between Aremo and Ododo. She looks for the best in people, and this tells in her relationship with Kolo. Kolo is a friend, turns out to be a friend to her in most part of the story, and she was Aremo's first wife, more out of convenience, which is common with royalty, I suppose. But we also see some other characters who are, or most of the other characters who are presented strongly turn out to be women. Talking about Ododo herself, Kolo, Ododo's mother-in-law, the women in the guild of blacksmiths, who more or less are like matriarchs, starting with Ododo's aunts, whom she's left behind, not by her doing in Timbuktu. But also you find some women she finds allies in her new domain. And like I said, the book is, tries to tackle the themes of patriarchy, African, West African, or more particularly Yoruba culture. But I think what the bulk of the book really dwells on feminism, the rise, the empowerment, the strength of women in the setting as the story has been told. I enjoyed the prosaic style in which Sangoyomi delivered this book. It was fast-paced. She does not dwell too much on feelings, but more of tactical scenes. There is a good, she has a good grasp of, or she does a good telling of choreography, fight scenes, and she also paints quite vividly the rich tapestry of Yoruba culture, African culture, and to the point of being also very, very on point with historical facts of the prominence of the Oyo Empire, of the role, the eminence of the Alafin or warrior king, and other facets or elements of that build up or stand as structures on which this empire stood culturally, historically, and politically. There's enough political intrigue here as we see Ododo falter and vanquish as she navigates all these truths that are thrown at her, and you begin to feel for her, begin to relate with her character. But in all, Sangoyomi thrives in telling a believable story, one that the character is seen to triumph at the end. No spoilers, but all I can say is long live the queen. So that said, Masquerade by Sangoyomi is a must read, and I do hope that you get a copy, find the means or the time to get a copy of this book and enjoy it. Till next one, happy reading.